Hi guys, it's me, Lindsay, and it's so great to be back doing this again. For today, I thought I would tell you a paranormal story time of mine, which will be the first installment of my paranormal series on my YouTube channel. Disclaimer, I'm a skeptic myself, which means that I personally don't think I've had a lot of paranormal experiences in my lifetime, because I feel like I can explain them away pretty easily. In my opinion, in this story that I'm about to tell you, I personally can't. You can take that with a grain of salt. You know, I'm not here to necessarily convince you that this was real, but I'm here mainly just to share a story that might be kind of spooky to you. Overall, respect my beliefs, just like I'll respect yours. I know there's a lot of people out there who don't really believe in this stuff, and that's completely fine. I don't blame you, but here I like to believe in things that are hard to believe in, you know? I don't know how else to put it. I think science can explain a lot, but I think there's a lot that science can't explain either. And that could be because we don't have the technology to explain some phenomena that we experience in our world. You know, maybe in the future we can explain some weird things that happen. But on the other side of the coin, we might not be able to even explain it with science either. That's just kind of how I look at it. I'm a super open-minded person, and I like to hear what other people think and whatnot, but just please keep it respectful. Don't undermine me or my beliefs, and I certainly am not gonna do that to you. Also, if you are someone who doesn't believe in this stuff and you're so inclined to leave a nasty comment, just don't. Just look at just don't. Just look at it as kind of entertainment for you. Look at it as an entertainment lens for you, essentially. It's just me talking about a spooky story, essentially. It could be like you're watching a horror movie or whatever. But please just be kind. That's all I ask. Let's be kind here. There's so much hatred in this world. Let's just be kind on my channel. With all the disclaimer stuff aside, let's get into the story.
Will you help me?
I just want to preface this by saying that I was a lot younger when I did this and dumber. I totally realized that this was a stupid thing to do. I don't condone it. Don't ever do this. If you're younger than me and you're watching this, don't ever do this. This is really stupid and dangerous. It's not worth it. Don't even do it when you're older. Don't even do it when you're of age. Just don't do it. No. So I was around 18 at the time, and I was with some friends, and we decided to go urban exploring. And I used to do this a lot at the time, which I don't do it. It's dangerous. I'm gonna say that so many times throughout this video. It is dangerous. No. It was a reform school, I guess. Reform boarding school for juvenile delinquents and, you know, people that had disabilities and whatnot. And you know, it's a huge place. The property was giant, but it was overgrown and dilapidated, and just, it wasn't a safe place for us children. And I remember we just explored so many different buildings, and there was even like stuff left over from the time that it was still running. I think it closed in the 90s, I believe. So, you know, it hadn't been running for a while, but there was still stuff there originally from the property that was really cool to see. And there was other stuff that could be a little sketchy too, was that, you know, there was like beds there, like beds that had been recently slept in type things, and there's spray cans and just a bunch of stuff just littered everywhere, and which made us, you know, be aware that we may not be alone on this property. And yeah, dangerous. So we were definitely wary, at least I definitely was wary. You know, eventually we made it over to the sleeping quarters of the place. Let me tell you that as soon as we reached that building, things started to feel weird. I mean, to be honest, like the whole place was just, we were already on edge because, you know, it's not the safest place for us to be. But this building was creepy and just off. I'm definitely someone who's super sensitive, and I can like sense when vibes are off, and like I guess you can say I'm intuitive. I wouldn't call myself an empath or anything, but I'm super intuitive when things just aren't right. And that building just didn't feel right. And not only that, but above the building was like flocks and flocks of crows. Flocks and flocks of crows, like so many freaking crows just like squawking and swirling in the wind. It's terrifying to see that. I kind of felt like the Wicked Witch of the West, and I was just like, you know, fly my pretties. I hope that doesn't get demonetized. It was creepy. It was weird. And that should have been kind of like an omen maybe that we shouldn't go in, that it's probably not the best place to go in. But we were dumb and foolish. We're like, okay, let's go into the building. Might I add too, this building was like off a ways from everything else too. Like it felt like very distant from everything else. And it was kind of in like a little corner. Everything was like super overgrown. Let's get a little comedic here for a minute, because getting into this building was a hassle in itself. Now, I'll be real, I'm not the most flexible person out there. In fact, I have the flexibility of a 40-year-old man, to be quite honest with you. At least that's what it feels like. And in order to get into the building, you had to basically get in through a window that's on a door. Like, you know those like doors that have windows, and like it's not like a thin window either. It was a big enough window for someone to get through, for all of us to get through. We were able to get through it. But like the window is high up on the door. I'm like at the most 5'3". I honestly don't know. I don't know my height. I don't know. And that window is pretty high up compared to someone like me. Like, dang, you had to be at least 6 foot to just easily just like, you know, put your foot through and like go in. Like, no, I had to get like there was like these weird barrels, like wooden barrels on the side of the building, and we had to roll it up, get on top of that, and then like slide our way through. But even then, it was hard for me because the barrel was not like huge, it was tiny. So I still had to like get on my tippy toes and like put my leg through the window. And God, it was the most ungraceful thing I've ever done in my damn life. Excuse my French. Like, I was like literally straddling a door. Like I was getting ready to like write it off in the races or something. I was literally straddling it, which was the most uncomfortable thing ever. I think boys, it hurts down there. For girls, doesn't feel good either. And I somehow was able to just kind of like slip my, you know, my leg that was already in the door down, and I like somehow threw the other leg over and I got in finally.
One eternity later.
I was like the third to last in. The other two girls were already in, and they were just kind of talking, and then I went towards them. And this is where the freaky part happens. Like bad friends, we started walking off without our last friend. So she didn't experience what we experienced at all. In fact, she was like, she thought we were crazy. We're only on the first floor. I don't remember how many floors this building had, but I want to say at the most like 5. So it was a pretty decent building. And we started walking, and then out of nowhere, we heard this voice. And it sounded like it was like literally right in front of us, like right here. And, you know, that could be explained away too. You know, it was a decent sized building. It could have been echoey, but I don't think it was echoey, because like most, if not all, the windows were open, and there is sound going in and out and air going in and out. So I don't really think that's the case, but it sounded like it was right here. And as soon as we like took a step into that right wing corridor, it was like, hello? Like the softest, gentlest voice, like, hello? And I was like, we looked at each other and we're like, yeah? Which is dumb, because if that was a human, they don't need to know we're really here if it was a human. But there was like no response after that. There was no shuffling, there was no movement, and nothing. It was silent. Dead silent. We just ran back. We ran back to our friend who, might I add, just got into the door. And we're freaking out. We're like, oh my God, we just heard a voice. We just heard a voice. And she's like, okay, calm down. It was probably just a person. Like, calm down. She like did a very, no offense to her, did a very like, just like a look to the left, a look to the right. And she's like, let's go. When we started walking down the hallway, we realized that literally all the doors were open in that hallway. And we looked inside all of them to make sure that, you know, there's no one there. And we looked even behind the doors and everything. And there was no one on that first floor. And they couldn't even get out the windows either, because the windows that they had inside the rooms, which were the only other windows on the floor, were like tiny little slits. And there's just no way that anyone could get through it unless they're literally like paper thin. So then we went to the next floor. Looked, nothing. All the doors are open, no one behind the doors, nothing. And you get the picture, so on and so forth. There was no one there. There was no one there, unless there's like some secret door compartment or something that they were able to slip through, but that beats me. If that's the case, then that's a whole nother type of creepy. I genuinely, to this day, have thought of so many things that it could be. And this is just the one time where I really can't figure it out. I'm not saying that it couldn't be human or whatever else that's explainable. But in this case, I just find it really hard because we've looked and looked and looked at every single floor. And we could not find anybody. And we would have heard them leave too, because the only way out of that place was the door that we came in. And let me tell you, us getting in there, it was noisy. It was super noisy. Especially me getting in there, it was noisy. Like, you could hear it. You would have definitely heard that. And then the other way would be windows. But as I said, the windows were so tiny. And even, I mean, and the higher we climbed, like, who's gonna jump like 5 stories? I mean, I guess they could, but they would get hurt. Certainly, right? As I said, I'm open to different perspectives. I genuinely am, but I've just found it really hard to explain away. I don't know. Just because it's hard to explain doesn't necessarily mean it's paranormal, I guess, but you tell me what it is then, because I don't know. One thing that we did find online was a bunch of other urban explorers that went there, and they actually had a YouTube and they actually filmed going there. So we saw a lot of the similar places that, you know, we went to, and we thought it was really cool. But one thing that happened to them was that they also were hearing voices inside the building, in the same building that we were in. And they couldn't figure out where it was coming from either. So, you know, that in a way almost confirms what we experienced. It doesn't really either, but like it kind of does. I honestly haven't had much experience besides that. I'm definitely not the type of person that goes out and like looks for it. I'm not like a ghost hunter or anything. I'm just kind of someone that enjoys that stuff. I enjoy hearing about it. I enjoy researching it. Like, I just kind of enjoy it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it like made sense and it wasn't too sporadic or whatever. I apologize if it was. but it's been a while since that happened, and it still freaks me out a little bit. It still creeps me out. I may have no reason to be scared or freaked out about it. That's fine, but it still does. I don't care. It still does, and it probably still will for a long time to come. So guys, I will see you this week again at some point doing something that I want to do, because this channel, we don't have any trajectory to what it is. I'm just doing what I like. And I hope you guys enjoyed the first installment of my paranormal series. A lot to come with that. I got a lot of really cool spooky things I want to talk about. But anyway guys, I hope you have a great week, a great day, a great night, wherever you are when you're viewing this. And I'll see you sometime. Bye!